Wars with Meg. The focus of this video was all about San Diego Comic-Con and what was there that I did that was Star Wars related. Star Wars kind of had a very on the DL presence this year at Comic-Con, but there was still a lot of exciting things that came out of it that I wanted to chat with you guys about. I did vlog my Comic-Con experience, and I'm going to be showing you some clips of the vlog, but I just felt like I was really scatterbrained. It's not all Star Wars that I was interested in, so the only way that I could think to make the Star Wars with Meg portion of this video was to kind of just like pull out the Star Wars bits that I did record, because I am a big Pokemon girl, I am a big Avatar: The Last Airbender girl, so I did vlog a lot of things that have nothing to do with Star Wars. Without further ado, let's just get into day one at Comic-Con. Let's start with their exhibit that they had on the show floor. So it was pretty expansive, and it was focusing on 20 years of animation, so there was lots of TVs, lots of artwork. The coolest artwork was probably the Shadow Lord Darth Maul show artwork. It was like everyone's first look at what Darth Maul is going to look like in this show, if you didn't get to see the trailer at Star Wars Celebration like I did. He looks so awesome, so menacing. There was a lot of focus on Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Underworld, lots of concept art and stills from a lot of the animated shows because they are celebrating 20 years of animation. I, of course, was a huge fan of seeing Star Wars Rebels and lots of artwork and things to go with that. They had a section dedicated to showing animation brought into live action, and the most exciting thing to come out of their entire exhibit floor, besides seeing Darth Maul, was seeing the very first glimpse at Ezra Bridger from season 2 of Ahsoka. They're filming Ahsoka season 2 right now, so we got this first look at Ezra, and I'm just so excited to see him kind of in his rebel attire. So, you know, he's with his mom, his adopted mom, and I'm so excited to see more of him with Hera and Jason. Fingers crossed, at least that's what we get to see. He just is Ezra, he is Ezra Bridger. So that was super exciting to see. It wasn't my first time seeing this photo, only because some people had posted pictures of it the day before. So I had already taken a good look at it, but it's just so exciting to see. And then he was next to all of the other photos of their animated versions brought into live action, like Hera, Zeb Aurelios, Bo-Katan, Cad Bane. Super, super cool. Another one of my favorite things that they had here was they showed how Cad Bane was brought to live action. So they kind of had the layers of his face on display, and my favorite part was they had his hat on display, the actual hat. That was pretty cool. Definitely not Lucasfilm's most exciting show floor setup that they've ever had. Very minimal on costumes and stuff, but I still loved the heart behind it and the 20th anniversary part of it. I did really enjoy that. Moving off of the show floor, the High Republic had a huge presence here at Comic-Con, a bigger presence than they had at Star Wars Celebration, which I was so excited about. Star Wars books in general had a big presence because Disney Books was there, Random House Publishing was also there, and then Dark Horse was also there. So between those three, there was so much representation for Star Wars books, Star Wars comics. There was even a High Republic panel that led into talking about other Star Wars books, so I'm going to insert a little bit of the vlog that I got from that moment when we were about to do the High Republic panel with Charles Soule and Mark Thompson. Charles Soule wrote the first and last ever book of the High Republic series, and then Mark Thompson does a lot of the audiobooks, he does the narrating. We'll insert that here. We're now in line waiting for the High Republic panel with Charles Soule and the guy who does all of the audiobooks, which it's a voice I listen to a lot of in my lifetime, so I'm really excited about this panel. That's really soon, and hopefully right after that we're gonna go to a High Republic signing. Fingers crossed. This next clip, they're talking about Trials of the Jedi, which is the last High Republic book. I made sure to not include any of spoilers for that, so you're safe to watch it if you haven't read it yet. He really didn't spoil any of it in the panel anyway, but I think I took out anything suspicious.
Put together this team of 9 Jedi who are called the Nine, or the Luminous Nine, who are basically the heroes of the stories that have led up to this point.
You talk about all the contributors that were part of this project, but you happen to be what I'm calling the human bookend of this project.
That's what they call me. Literally the first novel in the High Republic, the place if you wanted to start read the whole thing is Light of the Jedi, and then the ending is Trials of the Jedi. So the pressure on the first project was get it right so people will even care about reading the rest of all these stories that we had planned, that my fellow authors were already writing. It was a big, big, intense thing to have to try to do, because it also was introducing this brand new sort of flavor of Star Wars that hadn't existed before. Trials was a very different animal because everybody already knew the characters, everybody knew the technology, everybody knew the era, the way it felt, and I maybe not intelligently go on Reddit sometimes, and so I had a sense of what people wanted to happen, what they were expecting to happen. It's about finding a balance between what will make the fans happy, but also finding the things that they didn't know they wanted. And there's a lot of that in Trials of the Jedi. Very gratified by the reaction to it. I think, you know, endings are arguably more important than beginnings, because if Trials hadn't worked, people would kind of walk away from the High Republic being like, well, you know, it had a lot of high moments, I really liked it. I guess no pun intended, it had a lot of high moments. It had a lot of exciting, awesome beats, but really, you know, that end just kind of fizzled out. And I really, really wanted to avoid that. I wanted people to feel like the journey they went on in these stories was worth it, that it paid off, that every single moment, from like a little, you know, kid's book to an adult novel to an audio drama to whatever it might have been, every single story mattered. It was all part of the same thing, and I think that's what the project does.
I loved hearing that Charles Soule reads Reddit, because you always wonder, like, are they reading this? And sometimes they nail what we want so closely. It's like they had to have read it, they had to have seen it. But I think it's just a matter of like, he just wants to make sure that he's going to please everybody. But I love that he said he still did what he felt was right in his gut, even if it wasn't something anybody had said, because he thinks it's what we would realize we wanted in the end. So I thought that was really interesting just to hear that from him. And then Mark Thompson comes in and he goes on and starts to talk about how he found the voice for Marchion Ro, which is by far my favorite voice that he does. He also said that he threw up one time trying to do Skier, because Skier has that, like, I don't know how to, if you've never listened, it's kind of hard to describe, but Skier has like a snake-like type voice. He said he threw up once recording the Skier, which is hilarious. But anyway, enjoy this clip of him just immediately snapping into being Marchion Ro. I had chills.
Marchion Ro is the big villain of the piece of High Republic stories, and I had a sense of what his voice would sound like, and then I listened to the audiobook of Light of the Jedi, and I heard how Mark did it, and it was completely different from what I thought it was going to be, but it very quickly became perfect.
You know, there was something about his physical description of like the dark gray and the solid black eyes, and that reminded me of a shark. And so like, I was kind of putting together a bunch of different things where it was like, I wanted him to sound somewhat unassuming, because when you first meet him, you think he's just this one that none of the Tempests respect, and they, you know, so like you could almost have this, you know, weak voice, but then, maybe I'll try, so he might start off like this, but then when he needs to strike, he can just shock you, and Kasiv, don't forget your hand.
That's what it's like to listen to a High Republic book, if you've never listened, by the way. He's so talented. He's like the next D. Bradley Baker. Okay, that's high praise too, but you'll realize why I'm saying that in just a second. And then they went on to talk about what's next for the High Republic, because this is technically the end. And I was so relieved to hear them say that while this is the end of Phase 3 and there's not a Phase 4, there might be a phase more.
We're publishing a prequel book, we're publishing something in the original trilogy, or something here, or something there, and the High Republic is now part of that. It is part of that calculus, it's part of that decision making, and it's part of that tapestry of the coolest thing about Star Wars is there are so many kinds of stories to tell in so many different ways, in so many different eras, and the High Republic is a place to tell stories just like any other.
That's not a no.
It's not a no.
I mean, to tiny bit add or articulate that, there's been Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, and while there is no Phase 4, you know, whatever is to come, we could call that Phase more, which, you know, we'll see. Time will tell.
Safe to say that we'll probably get more books published from this era, just to kind of expand on what they've already started with this groundwork, which I find very thrilling, very exciting, and I found that comforting too, because I'm super attached to this era. I love this era of Star Wars. Then we moved on to talking about Sanctuary, which is the Bad Batch novel that comes out, I think, in like a week, like very, very soon. And Mark Thompson is also doing the narration for that audiobook. And he said he studied D. Bradley Baker to a T and watched interviews of D talking about how he found each clone's voice, because they all sound so different. He read a section of the book that I'm going to insert here, and I think he nailed the characters. So tell me what you think, though.
This excerpt, we have Hunter and Wrecker being chased by Imperials while Tech, Omega, and Phi are all fleeing on Fabi. So, Mark's got the excerpt. Sir, take it away.
All right. Tech spoke to Wrecker. Can you get Hunter on the comms?
Raising him now!
Before Wrecker could make the call, the high whine came through the receivers, then morphed into Hunter's welcome voice. Team, we're on the way. It should have been a relief, but Tech heard the tension in his brother's voice. What's wrong? Bad news is, we've got a tail, Tech said. Is there good news? No, because we're not going to be able to land. Phi said, well, since we can't fly, that's a problem. There's a cliff east of here, Hunter said. That's all he said, because Tech, Wrecker, and Omega knew what that meant. Tech took a deep breath. Plan 86B. Phi was concerned. What's Plan 86B? It's an addendum to our emergency escape protocol, Plan 86. What's the B mean? No longer jovial, Wrecker said,
A worse emergency escape.
thank you.
Thank you guys very much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Have a great rest of the show. And thanks for that performance. It was amazing.
My Bad Batch fans, like, are we all listening to the audiobook? Let me know, because I just feel like hearing Tech's voice again sent shivers down my spine. And he nailed, I was really worried he wouldn't nail Wrecker, because I love Wrecker's voice so much. Same with Tech. They have like, think the most unique out of all of the batch, in my personal opinion. Maybe just because they mean the most to me, I don't know. But he nailed them, and so to hear their voices again, hear them all together again, like, I feel like we should all be collectively listening to this one instead of reading it. That was all of the main excitement pieces from day 2. On day 4 is where things got so exciting, because the Lucas Museum reached out to me a couple weeks before San Diego Comic-Con to ask if I was going, and to see if I was going, if I wanted a seat at the Lucas Museum panel that George Lucas was gonna be at. And so I was like, I fly home on Sunday, but I don't even care. I'll miss my flight. I'll change my flight. I am not missing this panel. Luckily, the timing ended up being like perfectly right before I needed to leave for my flight. I'll insert day 4, the part of the vlog that I think is interesting enough. Good morning, good morning. We are here on our final day of San Diego Comic-Con. Just checked out of our hotel, and now we're heading back to the convention center. Today we're heading to the Lucas Museum panel. The Lucas Museum was so tremendously kind and reached out, and they have seats for me and Maggie to go see the panel today. I know that I just have a feeling people have been lined up for hours to get in, so I'm so grateful that they have seats for us in there. So that's where we're heading now. Okay, we're officially sitting here in Hall H waiting for the Lucas Museum panel to begin. You guys, George Lucas is gonna be right there. Right there is crazy. I'm starting to feel like I'm gonna have an anxiety attack. I have a little clip just so that you can see George come out and like see how the panel began, but then I'll kind of summarize what he talked about at the panel after I show you this clip.
Welcome to one of the most highly anticipated panels of Comic-Con 2025, the sneak peek of the Lucas Museum of Narrative Arts. My great honor to introduce our panel's moderator, Queen Latifah.
So let's not waste any more time. Let's get him out here. First up, you'll see some of his work on display at the museum. Put your hands together for Academy Award-winning artist and production designer, Doug Chiang. Next up, one of the most beloved filmmakers of our time. And he's one of the museum's incredible board members. So please, give it up for 3-time Oscar winner, Guillermo del Toro! Few creators have impacted the last 50 years of storytelling like this next man. He revolutionized filmmaking, not just through spectacle, but through a deeply human lens. His magnum opus, Star Wars, has shaped our lives for generations and taught us we should trust our instincts. One person can change the course of history. And the Force is always within us. His imagination has lit the path for generations of fans and filmmakers alike. He's the reason we're here today. Please welcome for the first time ever at Comic-Con, give it up for the one, the only, George Lucas!
Right at this point, they started to play a video describing the museum, but none of us were allowed to record it. They made us put all of our cameras away. So I'll do my best to tell you the footnotes of what I thought was like the most interesting. So the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art will have over 150,000 pieces to look at. The website for the Lucas Museum, specifically word for word, says, enjoy a rare glimpse of inside the Lucas archive, featuring original props, intricate models, concept art, costumes, and vehicles used in the makings of films such as Indiana Jones, Willow, Labyrinth, Star Wars, and more. And as a big Willow girl, as obviously I'm a big Indiana Jones and Star Wars girl, but I love Willow. Willow is in like my top 10 favorite movies of all time, okay? So I'm super excited to hear that Willow is being included in this and not being erased from existence like it was on Disney+. But like they made it very clear that this is not just like a Lucasfilm centered museum. It's also just the pieces that George himself has been collecting for the past 50 years of his life. So just like things that he was passionate about collecting and just like doesn't have it in him to sell. He said he never collects things because he wants to sell them. Like he wants to keep them forever. But like a theme that they kept saying was that like no one owns art. You just possess it for like a period of time until somebody else gets it. So like the museum is their way of sharing it with everybody so that everybody can experience it, or more people can experience it, and so it's accessible to more people. But what I know you guys really care about is like what's in this museum that's to do with Star Wars. So I'm just gonna read the list here. We will have Luke's X-34 Landspeeder from A New Hope. These are gonna be like the really large pieces. A 1-to-1 replica of General Grievous and the bike that he has in Revenge of the Sith. So that's gonna be so cool to see in person. This one I'm super excited for because it's a full-scale version of Anakin Skywalker's starfighter from The Phantom Menace. Like a full-scale starfighter in person is crazy. As the collection will also have speeder bikes from Return of the Jedi. The museum is 300,000 square feet. We'll have lots and lots of galleries, 2 movie theaters, dedicated spaces for learning and engagement, dining, retail, and event space for events. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be massive. It's gonna be so much fun to visit.
You'll always have a story that people believe, it's mythology, it's not really true, but people believe it and it binds them together with a common belief system. That common belief system is what is really important. And what we're doing here with the museum is to try to make people aware of the mythology that we live by, and at the same time, let them have an emotional experience looking at art that does tell the modern mythology.
It was super endearing to hear George talk about this museum because he has so much passion and so much love for it, and that alone makes it special because like we all know he's just like a genius and it's gonna be magnificent. Apparently there's no right angles in the museum at all, like everything is like curved, just like it's very special. The building itself is a piece of art. If you see it from like an airplane, or like if you're in LA and you just drive by, it's huge, and it's the building itself, the architecture is a work of art in itself. That was everything for like my adventures at San Diego Comic-Con, but I do have a haul of items that I bought that were Star Wars related that I would love to share with you. Okay, wait, first and foremost, the shirt that I'm wearing is from Civil Regime. Look at that. Is that not literally the coolest shirt you've ever seen? I have a lot of Civil Regime stuff, but it's like bigger, fitted, loose, super soft, super comfy t-shirts. I saw the baby tee and I was like, I need it. And now I regret that I didn't buy the other one that they had, which was Darth Vader. They might have had 2 more. I should have bought all of them. We're just talking about the Lucas Museum. They were so nice. When I went to pick up my tickets for my seats at the panel, hi Duffy Bear, they gave me this bag. I guess this is like the new Lucas Museum logo. This is what the building actually looks like, which is crazy. Gave a water bottle that says Lucas Museum of Narrative Art on it as well. And then this is a postcard of what it looks like. It has some information on the back. I think I shared pretty much all of that with you. Coming soon to Los Angeles. And then I visited my favorite place to get Star Wars merchandise. They just always knock it out of the park. Heroes and Villains. They actually gifted me 2 things, so let me show you. I'll try them on. The first thing is the Revenge of the Sith sweatshirt. This is the front, and then the back has the title scroll. This is a medium. I like things to be a little oversized, like I could wear this like almost as a dress. It's so cute. And this is the back. Really love that it's so straight, because sometimes when you get oversized things, it looks like really boxy and not very flattering, but I feel like I still have like shape under this, so I love this one. Anakin's big face over here. And I also got a jacket from them. I have so many of their jackets, which is hilarious because I literally live in Florida. But for the couple of weeks that I can wear jackets, I'm living in my Heroes and Villains jackets. This is a Rebel jacket. They were helping me dress a little bit at the booth because they were just showing me that it has a Velcro on the sleeves, which is so nice. I'm a short girl. I'm 5'2", so keep that in mind. I'm petite. So it can be worn straight, but it also has these here that can be pushed in to kind of give you a little bit of like a, not like peplum, but kind of like a little shape. It's like this on, which I just think is so cute. I'm a sucker for anything with the Rebel logo on it. It's the patch on the side. This is actually not like too heavy, so it's a really good early fall jacket. I do have a code with them. It's Magic W Meg, and it'll save you 20%. You can use it only one time in the 3-month period, and then after 3 months I get a new code that you can use. But if you change your email that you check out with, you can use my code over and over again. That was everything from Heroes and Villains, who I love so much. I forgot about this. Look what I found. Don't look at the price tag because I did get a little bit of a discount on it when I bought it. Probably not enough of a discount, but still a discount nonetheless. And it comes with Ezra and Chopper. It's the like OG Phantom Lego set. I hope all the pieces are in it because I can tell it's been opened. Fingers crossed, but I think this would be so fun to build in a YouTube video, like the old school. When did this come out? Does it have a year on it? 2014. Love that Ezra's in his like OG season 1 jumpsuit. Oh, so cute. It's my dream to get the Ghost someday, but I do have like a Ghost and Phantom set already. I think it's crazy that they used to sell them separately. When we built the Ghost and book 1 was actually the Phantom, I was like, the Phantom on its own would be such a good set. So it's so interesting to see that they did actually sell the Phantom separately back in the day. So different than the Phantom that I built. We'll have to compare them. That would be a fun video, right? To build and then compare. Everything else that I got was posters other than this that I got signed. So I came with this book. This is my book. I came with it because I was trying to think of something that multiple High Republic authors could sign, not knowing that they were going to give us some really cool posters. It's a collection of short stories written by all of these different High Republic authors. And so funnily enough, my 2 favorite books in this are by Charles Soule and Tessa Gratton, and they were both there, and so they're the ones that I got signed. And I hope someday I can get them all signed by all of the authors. It was such a pinch me thing too for me to be able to meet Charles Soule, because he is the human bookend of the High Republic, as they say, and he recognized me from Instagram, which was really cool. We are mutuals on Instagram, so it was just like really nice that he recognized me, and he told me that I'm like super enthusiastic and like all that stuff, and that was the meaning behind him writing, "You are a luminous being." That felt like so personally kind. It like really got me. But that's the one that Charles Soule did, and then Tessa signed hers. I was telling her that like when reading this, hers had such a different tone than all the rest of them, and she was like, yeah, because Marta is crazy. So she wrote The Force Will Be Free, which is Marta Rowe being crazy. So I love that. It's very special, and I can't wait to hopefully fill this up with the rest of their autographs. So super cool. Such an honor to meet two people who have written books that I love so much. They were two of the illustrators were also there. So Harvey, who illustrates a lot of the High Republic adventure comics and stuff like that, had this super cool calendar that he was giving out, and then they were all handing this out. So all three of them signed this. How cool is this poster? I left with 3 High Republic posters. Like, that's crazy. This is this one was being handed out at the Disney Books booth, and it's like a scratch off. So you're supposed to scratch off when you've listened to all of these audiobooks, which I could scratch all of them off right now pretty much, because almost every, except for the first handful before I knew about the audiobooks, I did a lot of like half reading, half listening for all the rest of them, because the audiobooks just really were that good. So I could probably scratch all of these off. But it has the title of every single one that they ever did. And let me tell you how many there are. There's 5 in each row. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28. Not including the comics or the manga. So yeah, pretty cool if I must say so myself. Like, I was so happy to leave with so many goodies. All of them were free also. And then the only other thing I got that's Star Wars related is 2 more art pieces from an artist I've gotten to know pretty well over just like meeting at conventions and like being mutuals on Instagram. Oh my goodness, so hard to get open. Okay, there's 2 in here. So he had a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive that was General Grievous. Do you see the coloring on it? Oh, it's beautiful. I had no choice but to get it. It's gonna be really hard to show you. It's like so wound up, but can you see? Is that not incredible? General Grievous. The coloring on this, like, it blends right in with my wall behind me. It's just like my favorite color scheme. I'm so excited to hang this. And he was super nice and signed it, like personalized it to me and said to Meg at the top. This is one of his pieces I've eyed every single time I've gone to see his booth. The story behind this is that she was supposed to appear at Denver Comic-Con. She is in Carrie Fisher. Was supposed to appear at Denver Comic-Con, and she passed right before her appearance, so they asked him to create artwork in her honor. And so it says, "To me, she's royalty" at the bottom. It has 1956 to 2016 at the bottom, and it just has all of her Leia looks on here, including her very last one. And it's just really special. And I think it's gonna look really good hanging up with the General Grievous. I'm planning to do like a gallery wall in the other room. It's one of not very many that they ever printed, and it's just like there's a handful left over from Denver Comic-Con, and it's really special. I feel like that I have one. I think that was everything. Just about. Oh, the jewelry. I'm totally missing the jewelry. A ton of jewelry from Girls Crew. They're so sweet, and they gifted me this Jar Jar Binks set of earrings. When I went to see them the first time, I had a Jar Jar Binks keychain. I was wearing my Phantom Menace Spirit jersey. So, they gave me Jar Jar, which was so nice. I will wear them all the time. And then I bought this pair because it's spooky season, or really close to being spooky season. And it's like R2-D2 as a ghost. So cute. They are so clever and fun with all of their jewelry. And I live in my Girls Crew jewelry. Like, I think I'm wearing my Leia earrings literally right now. I love Girls Crew so much. I also gifted this Rebel set, which I feel like represents me so well. It's Luke and the Rebel logo and his X-Wing all in here. It's perfect. Like, I will wear those all the time as well. It reminds me of my favorite movie. Okay, last but not least, from Rock Love, we got to engrave our very own bracelets with like the Arabic alphabet. So this says Meg. Hopefully you can see it. And what was really special about this is that I went with 3 of my best friends. So me, Blake, and Matt, and Maggie all got one of these bracelets. So it's almost like we also have Star Wars friendship bracelets. Personalized stuff is just so special. So I'm super grateful to Rock Love for letting us come out. Such a nice gift from Rock Love. One more thing I got from Dark Horse, actually, this High Republic reusable bag, which I was actually so excited to get. So thank you, Dark Horse. And that was everything. That was my San Diego Comic-Con Star Wars experience all wrapped up in one little video with a nice bow on it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you want to see next week. I'm so excited for like spooky season and to have some time to build some Legos maybe. So let me know what you want to see in an upcoming video. I'm so grateful that you guys are here. I hope you have an amazing couple of days ahead. Until I see you again, and may the Force be with you. Bye.